And don't know where we left off, but we are dealing with this problem over here now. There's box on ramp, and then, well, it speaks for itself. There we go. It does that sometimes, and it doesn't do it most of the time, so I haven't quite figured out. Anyway, thank you for letting me know. All right, so back to here. Which way is friction acting on box 1?
Would it be the same as the tension?
So acting up the ramp. So you're saying up on box 1, then down on the ramp?
No, down on the ramp and up on the box.
Yeah.
I think that's what I said.
Yeah.
Except
Is it?
the reverse order. You would draw the arrow here going this way?
This,
Okay, and then here you draw the arrow going that way. Okay. Is Sasha right? Even though they're not speaking it out loud, you've got at least one person nodding yes.
okay.
We got a little bit subtler support for you. Anyone wanted to say, Sasha,
She is
my goodness, what happened to you? You used to know this stuff. Or, you know, a more gentle, it's actually going the other way.
You're making me second guess myself now.
Physics is lovely for doing that. I will say, you might be right or might not be. I did say that there's one piece of information I did not tell you. The question is, which way is mass 1 going to go? Is mass 1 going to go down the ramp and mass 2 is going to go up? Or is mass 2 going to fall and mass 1 is going to go up? I didn't tell you that. So, in Physics 151, 251, if I told you the angle and the masses and the coefficient of friction, you'd be able to calculate that out, figure it out. 110, that's beyond the scope because it does involve trig. However, in a problem like this, I would need to tell you. So just for the sake of this, let's just assume it's going to go this way. It's the movement. So box 1 is going to go down the ramp, box 2 is going to rise. In which case, which way is friction acting on box 1?
No, I'm sorry.
What
we're
she
going
said, the
this
box is going
way. Yeah, because
down.
at first I said that way, so we're going this way for friction.
So you're flipping your answer from before?
No, I'm keeping it, and
You're
now
keeping-
I'm saying it will be the opposite if it was going that way. If the rope is going down this way, then the,
Box 1 is going down this way.
okay.
So
So
friction,
I would say that friction will be moving in the same direction. Well, we're
Friction goes out.
it's, remember, what's giving the friction
Myself
here,
now.
what's giving the friction here is the ramp. The ramp's causing the friction.
Okay.
And friction sees mass 1 coming down and going, no, not on my watch. And so it tries to stop it. This is the force, this is the friction that the ramp is exerting on the box. That's what the box is doing to the ramp. Friction is trying to oppose the relative motion. I picked that so that you would just say the same answer.
Yeah, and I confused myself.
No, just wait. Yeah. That's the only friction involved there, so there's, I don't need subscripts, but you can put subscripts if you wish, just so long as they have the same subscript. Questions before we pump it? All right, we've set the basis here. At this point, we're gonna do a test level problem, and yeah, we'll do a test level problem. And there are a couple of force diagram things in the master set, which hopefully will seem a little bit easier now. But let's do a test level problem. Now there's a video or a PowerPoint dealing with dad pulling boy on sled, so I'm gonna not do that one. You've got the magician pulling the tablecloth on the master set, so I won't do that one. Then let us do the road boarding. I'm assuming your drawing will be better. All right, so I need to give some bits of information. This is a box, by the way, in the back of whatever type of vehicle that is. I assume four-wheel drive. Four-wheel drive. He is going in that direction, so the velocity is in that direction, and he is speeding up. Since he's speeding up, acceleration will be in the same direction, so the net force must be in that same direction. Do not try this at home. This is some sort of board on road, and he's being towed by the vehicle. This is a rover. He is speeding up by he's got a stick there, and he's speeding up by pulling this towards himself, straight back this way, and that's causing him to speed up. So the first thing is I would split this up into the different parts, just so you know what to include with what. So we've got, let's give them names. Garog and Endro, they show up a number of these problems. So we got Garog, we have the board, we have the road, we have rope, we have box, we have whatever Jeep. Some little bit more space. We have chair, which is just basically sitting there, and then we have bedroom. We'll make that stick part of the vehicle. All right, so I've broken it up into the parts. The box is just sitting on there. The chair is just sitting on it as well. And it looks like it's curved. I probably should draw that a little bit more explicitly. The curve was, the chair legs were behind it, but let's make it clear, it wasn't sitting on the curved spot, it's sitting on the flat space there. All right. Oh, that's intro. All right. Can we get rid of anything? Yes, we can get rid of that. I did not tell you that there's some mysterious force involved here. In the master set problem where you've got the rectangle or long box and the box sitting on top of it, and you're applying a force to, I think, the lower one, that's an example of other. Because I don't think I stated what's causing that force, it's just some force that's acting there. But I don't have anything like that here, so other is gone. All the rest of them are in play. And again, I recommend starting with weight. I still think that's the simplest of them, but it all depends upon the way your mind is working at the moment that you need to do it. So, weight is acting on what objects? And in which direction? Riley, you look like you want to say it.
G's weight is acting down as the road's weight is acting up. Well, it's acting back up towards them, right?
So I'm drawing the arrow down here.
Yeah.
All right, so I got W sub G and then W sub G. One pair down.
The other person's weight doing the same thing. The other person's weight, E's weight doing the same.
Someone other than Briley.
Maybe down on the car and up on the road.
I'm gonna call it T for truck because I'll reserve C for chair, but that's just what I'm doing at the moment.
Box down to the truck, and the truck goes to the box.
All right, so I'm drawing an arrow on the box, which direction?
No.
Weight of box. And
Up on the ground.
ground. The upward one is always gonna be on the ground when you're dealing with weight. The truck is not, if the truck disappeared, put it that way, if the upward force were here, then if the truck disappeared, the box would not fall. The box falls because it's being drawn by the ground.
Would it be the same for the chair?
And we got one more.
The board needs weight in relation to the chair.
But, sorry?
What about his weight with the chair? Would that matter to you? Or is
Oh,
it-
there's not a weight is a gravitational pull. Gravitational pull between him and the chair is so incredibly tiny, we're ignoring it. Unless it's a path to madness, so we will ignore it. There is a force there, but we just haven't gotten there yet. And what's the one we're missing?
Down the board.
Yeah. I guess I use D for box, so, W's, S. Yeah, it's a smooth board. Now, I don't have to, I have G, that's a G there. I have G and S over here for the weights, I have the other ones over there. It really does not matter, I could have put these in any order down here, but I do need to have the 6 weights acting up on the ground. Ideal rope, I guess I didn't explicitly state that, or write that, ideal rope, so it doesn't have mass, I'm not worried about the weight of the rope. But if you really wanted to put it in there, sure. All right, weight is done. Well, that was simple. I want to do friction last, so normal force or tension, which one do you want to do?
Tension.
All right. So, where are my tension pairs?
Between him pulling.
G pulling the rope. And the rope in the box.
So, you said G in the rope?
Yeah.
So I have tension here, and that end taken care of.
And then the other end, the rope and the car.
Now, they should be pointing towards each other. I drew it this way, I separated it so you got room to draw your arrows. A mistake, what's written right here is correct. A mistake would be to draw it like that as you're pointing it towards the road. That, again, it is a horizontal force. It's pointing to the left, the other one's pointing to the right. That's what we're looking for. And that's it. I have only one rope. I've taken care of both ends. Again, if you want to do subscripts, I've got a subscript here, TT, sure. If you want to do subscripts, but they're not necessary because I have only a single rope. So tension, done. Questions up to here before we do normal force? All right. Normal force. We've already established it requires contact. So what's touching what? Again? G and board. The normal force is trying to keep one from going through the other, so the board is pushing up on the person and on Giron, so Y sub G, and he's pushing down on the board. All right, one down. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more pairs to go. That's a discount.
E and the chair.
E and
Chair.
Derek's pushing up on E.
The box in the truck.
Just in terms of notation, when I do it, and I don't know why, chocolate scars, nothing else. Generally, when I'm doing my labels, my subscripts, I take preference over the top one, so the box is on the truck. You could also work from the ground up and still have meaningful letters. That this could have been Y sub T and Y sub T because it's the truck interaction, and this down here would be like G and G for or ground or road R. So the actual letter that you use should have meaning to you. Some people will they'll have their normal forces, and the first one they do is Y sub 1, the next one they do is Y sub 2, the next one's Y sub 3, and so on. It's just, if you're doing further analysis on something like this, it's helpful to have some subscript that has meaning. In this case, not as important. All right, so what else?
Do the truck in the road?
All right, now notice I drew one arrow up, but I've got 2 points of contact. Some students really want to put 2 points of contact here, and to which I would say, why not 4? Because the vehicle probably has 4 wheels. Why not put 4 up? Maybe it's a dually, and you've got 6. If I did an 18-wheeler, you can do 18 arrows up. So what I would suggest is just do 1 to cover all of them. Now, if on a test primarily, or on the master set, if you did a normal force here and a normal force here, so YT and YT, what I would do when I'm grading it is I would just do it something like that to indicate that I'm counting it as one thing. Okay. But you only need 1 to cover all the road is pushing up on the vehicle. Is that it?
The board in the road?
What else?
The board in the road?
Yes, there is. Why is it S? Why is it S? And we have one more pair to go. Which? Yes. Got these. If nothing else, if I just presented this to you and I say, what's wrong with this? Notice I have two forces acting down on the chair. If that's it, if we're done with the chair, that means that chair is in free fall. Actually, more than free fall, because it's got two forces on it, that chair is plummeting. So I've got Y sub C and Y sub C. And I do ask that when you start writing your letters down, please make sure it's really clear which letter goes with which label. And I don't know if I've accomplished that, but I've created enough where some people just cram everything in a tiny space. And above all, don't do the force diagram on this picture. Or in the case of the magician, on the one where everything's touching. And on the next page, I have them separated. All right, is that it? So I got touching here, here, there, 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 and there. I think we're good on normal force unless I forgot something. And now friction. Friction requires contact. We can take it one step further. Normal force and normal force. Wherever there's a normal force, there might be a friction pair. If there's no normal force there, there is not friction. And of course, we're ignoring air resistance. It's a path to madness. We're escaping air resistance. So, let's start out with road and board. Which way is friction acting on the board? All right, so I've got arrows in both directions at this point.